Today, we're going to take a look at a piece of technology that could make the world's most powerful warships, well, pretty much invisible and completely untouchable. We're talking about getting rid of the old, noisy gears and giant engines. This is a new era of silent, integrated power that's about to rewrite all the rules of naval warfare. So let me just start with a question for you. When you think of a huge, powerful warship, slicing through the ocean at high speed, what sound comes to mind? Is it the roar of turbines, the powerful churn of the water? Well, the answer with this new tech is almost nothing. Total silence. And in the world of submarine warfare, where sound is literally everything, being acoustically invisible, that's the ultimate trump card. So let's dig into how on earth that's even possible. To really get just how big of a leap this is, we first have to talk about the hidden weakness that's lurking inside even our most advanced warships today. I mean, they look super futuristic on the outside, right? But deep down, their hearts are kind of stuck in the last century. Let's take a closer look. On one side, you've got this sleek, radar-evading shape of a modern destroyer. But on the other side, that's the reality inside the hull. It's a massive, unbelievably complex mechanical system. We're talking huge gas turbines hooked up to gigantic gearboxes, which then have to turn these incredibly long propeller shafts. The whole setup is heavy, it eats up a ton of space, and, this is the big one, it's incredibly loud. It's basically a giant dinner bell for any enemy sub in the area. So, what's the fix? Well, this isn't about making a few improvements to the old system. This is about throwing it out entirely and starting over with something completely revolutionary. And that's where the deep Echelon Drive comes in. So to put it simply, this system just gets rid of that entire mechanical drivetrain. The turbines, the gears, the shafts, poof, they're all gone. In their place are two main things: unbelievably compact power electronics and this game-changing linear jet that runs the entire length of the hull. You can think of it like this. It's like taking a car's engine, transmission, and drive shaft and just swapping it all for silent, super powerful electric motors right inside the wheels. It's a total redesign of how a ship gets from point A to point B. Okay, so let's look at a case study to see what this really means in the real world. What happens when you actually put this technology into a frontline destroyer? The advantages you get, they're not just small improvements, they are absolutely overwhelming. First, just look at the weight. The old machinery, all those turbines and gears, weighs about 900 metric tons. The new power electronics that replace all of it? Less than 10 tons. Now that is a staggering, mind-blowing 99% reduction in mass. 1,000 tons of machinery just disappears from the ship's design. So what do you do with all that newfound space and weight? Simple. You add more firepower. A lot more. That massive weight saving directly translates into enough room for over 400% more vertical launch missiles. This completely transforms the destroyer. It goes from being a single threat to a platform that can take on dozens of targets at once. It's basically doing the job of an entire fleet, all by itself. Now let's talk about performance. A standard destroyer, it tops out at about 30 knots, and that's not because it lacks power. It's because its propellers start to cavitate. They create these noisy bubbles in the water that basically turn the ship into a huge target for sonar. The Echelon Drive's linear jet, it doesn't have that problem. It can push the ship to over 45 knots. That's a 50% jump in speed, and the only thing holding it back is how fast the hull itself can physically move through the water. And here's where it gets really interesting: the link between speed and stealth. See, normally, the faster you go, the louder you get. That 30-knot noise limit is a massive tactical problem. But with the Echelon Drive, that trade-off just vanishes. The ship can cruise at its top speed of over 45 knots while staying acoustically silent. Its biggest weakness is just gone. The agility is it's a revolution. A normal ship uses a rudder to steer, right? This system uses instant 360-degree vectoring thrust all along the hull. It can literally move in any direction, sideways, diagonally, you name it. It can stop on a dime. The precision and speed are just impossible for a ship with regular propellers and rudders. This gives it an absolutely unmatched ability to dodge attacks or hold its position perfectly. But this technology isn't just for destroyers. Oh no, this is a totally scalable architecture. You can apply it to the biggest ships in the fleet, and that includes aircraft carriers. Let's see how that plays out. So for a carrier, you scale this system up to an absolutely immense 240 megawatts of total power. And get this, that number includes a dedicated 31 megawatt margin that's set aside just for combat systems and other high power needs. And we see the exact same advantages here, just on the scale of a floating city. The top speed jumps to between 35 and 40 knots. And crucially, the carrier can hold that speed while staying stealthy. That means it can outrun most submarines and operate undetected in dangerous areas that used to be off limits. But for a carrier, the real magic happens up on the flight deck. Modern electromagnetic catapults, emails, they draw these huge pulses of power that really strain the ship's electrical grid. The Echelon Drive, though, it acts like a massive power buffer. It instantly recharges the catapults, which allows for a 25% increase in how many planes you can launch per hour. And when a jet lands, the arresting gear doesn't just waste all that kinetic energy as heat. The system absorbs 100% of it, turning the propulsion system into a generator that feeds all that power right back into the ship. So here's the bottom line. When you combine this level of stealth and speed and power efficiency, you end up with a warship that is playing by a completely different set of rules. This system is also incredibly tough. It's not one giant engine, it's made of multiple independent modules. If one gets damaged, the ship barely loses any power. It's also built with something called magnetic amplifiers, which is a type of solid-state tech that's naturally hardened against an electromagnetic pulse, an EMP. And that power buffer we talked about? It's not just for catapults. It's basically a giant battery ready and waiting for the next generation of energy weapons. And this is exactly how it works. Things like railguns need an absolutely insane surge of power, all at once. The Echelon Drive's internal capacitor banks, they're like super fast batteries, they hold that energy ready to go. When the weapon is fired, the power is delivered instantly, without causing the lights to dim across the rest of the ship. This makes weapons that used to be science fiction, like railguns and high-energy lasers, a practical, reliable reality on the battlefield. You know, this quote from the source material really just nails it. The new class of warship that this technology creates is defined by a combination of things that has just never existed before: stealth, overwhelming speed, and an incredible ability to fight through extreme damage. Which leaves us with one final and kind of provocative thought. What actually happens to global naval strategy when one side has a fleet of ships that can't be seen, can't be caught, and can't easily be stopped? That's the question this technology forces every world power to ask.